Alexei Yeremenko. This Soviet World War II photograph was unidentified for 23 years until the man in it, Alexei Yeremenko, was recognized by his wife and children when they saw the photograph in Pravda. It remains as one of the most iconic photographs of World War II. Yeremenko was a junior political officer serving with the 220th Regiment of 4th Rifle Division. On July the 12th of 1942, the commander of his regiment fell during battle. Rallying his troops to the attack, Yeremenko stood and waved them on. Seconds after this photograph was taken, Yeremenko was shot dead. The last Jew of Vinnytsia. On September the 16th and September the 22nd of 1941, the Nazis rounded up all the Jews in the town of Vinnytsia, Ukraine, and executed them. Pictured here in this famous photograph, we see a man kneeling before a pit filled with bodies about to be shot by a German soldier. This photograph was found among a German soldier's photo album, and on the back was written the title, "The Last Jew of Vinnytsia." A Wehrmacht officer who observed the slaughter described it in all its horror. The people were told to show up at the already dug pit for a census. They were then forced to disrobe and turn in all their belongings. A row of naked people were then lined up along the pit and mowed down by German soldiers using pistols. The next group would be ordered to shovel quicklime onto the still writhing bodies in the pit, then repeat the process of undressing, turning over their valuables, and being shot, until each and every one of them joined their families and neighbors in the pit. All 28,000 Jews from Vinnytsia were killed in this manner. Wallace Strobel. Everyone recognizes General Dwight D. Eisenhower in this famous image. He is seen here addressing American paratroopers on June the 5th of 1944, the day before the D-Day invasion of Europe. The tall man standing directly in front of Eisenhower and wearing the number 23 around his neck was Lieutenant Wallace C. Strobel. Strobel was part of an airborne infantry regiment that parachuted behind enemy lines the night of the D-Day invasion. Of the 792 men in Strobel's regiment, only 129 would still be fighting 6 days later. One of those 129 was Strobel. He died in 1999. Strobel remembered meeting Eisenhower. He and the other paratroopers had smeared burnt cork or cooking oil all over their faces to blacken them for nighttime operations. The number hanging around his neck was meant to designate his assigned plane. Strobel was a jump master for his plane. He and his fellow crew were making last-minute preparations for the mission when Eisenhower appeared and walked straight up to him. Eisenhower then asked him what state he was from and whether or not he felt ready for the mission. Strobel told Eisenhower that he was from Michigan, and yes, they were ready. Eisenhower responded that he had been to Michigan and loved the fishing there. Though Strobel felt Eisenhower had come to try and reassure the men and lift their spirits, it actually seemed to be they who lifted Eisenhower's spirits. Strobel remembered how well trained and prepared they were, and that their confidence had a real calming and reassuring effect on Eisenhower. Leonard Sifleit. Sergeant Leonard Sifleit was a commando fighting with the Australian Army in New Guinea when he was captured by natives who turned him over to the occupying Japanese Army. Trained as a radio operator in the Special Forces, Sifleit was part of a secret surveillance detachment sent to New Guinea to watch the coast and report back on enemy activities. After they were turned over to the Japanese, they were held for about 2 weeks, tortured, and then on October the 24th of 1943, on the orders of Vice Admiral Misaki Kamada of the Imperial Japanese Navy, Sifleit was executed by beheading. He was beheaded by a Japanese officer, Yasuna Chikao. Chikao ordered another soldier to photograph him while he performed the execution. U.S. forces later recovered the photograph from the body of a Japanese major in April of 1944. Though the Japanese often executed prisoners by beheading, this is the only known surviving photograph documenting the beheading of a prisoner. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Until tomorrow, goodbye.